So by obtaining the explained process, we are going to obtain the starch from potato tubers. These starch are whitish in color. It is odorless and it is slightly mucilaginous in taste. Coming to their shape, starch mainly occurs as a fine powder or irregular or angular masses which is readily reducible into powder. As in the source of, while explaining the source of starch, we mentioned starch obtained from various sources like rice, wheat, various maize, potato. So these starches are having their individual shape and characteristic feature. Let me explain that. Suppose the rice and other maize grains, the color of the starch obtained from rice and other maize grains are purely whitish in color, while the starch obtained from the wheat is cream colored and starch obtained from the potato is slightly yellowish in color. Coming to their size and shape, based on their source, the size and shape of the starch also varies. In this experiment, we have extracted and isolated starch from potato. When we observe the starch under microscope, mainly under 45x, then what we will observe? Then this starch will appear sub-spherical, somewhat flattened, irregularly ovoid in shape. The size varies from 30 to 100 micron. The hilum is present near the narrower end with well-marked concentric striations. So these are some characteristic features of the starch found in potato tubers. While in rice, these starch granules are polyhedral in shape with 1 to 12 micrometer in diameter. They are ovoid in shape and mainly present in a cluster, very small and mainly present in a cluster. Maize granules are round in shape with around 5 to 30 micrometer in diameter with distinct cavity in the center or 2 to 5 rays in the cleft. Wheat starch are irregularly shaped or sometimes circular in shape with 5 to 50 micrometer in diameter. These starch contain hilum at the center, which is concentric and faintly marked striations. So based on the source, the size and shape, color, all these things varies for starch. Coming to their identification test. First chemical test include you take little quantity of starch, suppose 1 gram of starch with 15 ml of water and boil it and cool it at room temperature. Upon cooling at room temperature, we will observe a very translucent viscous jelly. Now this is, if jelly is formed, it indicates presence of starch. Second test is very important test, which is known as the important identification test for starch. It is known as iodine test. We have to add to the solution, aqueous solution of starch, we have to add little quantity of iodine. Then readily the solution will be converted to dark blue color. This is due to the presence of both amylose and amylopectin. Now the solution, when we will heat, this dark blue color disappear, and upon cooling once again at room temperature, the blue color reappears. While heating, the blue color disappear because the iodine, which forms a complex with the starch molecule, dissociates, and due to this dissociation, this blue color goes out. While upon cooling, the iodine again combine with the starch molecule and it forms a complex, hence you will give the blue color once again. So this is in brief various morphological aspects of the starch molecule obtained from various sources while the identification test. Coming to the report should be written like that: the percentage yield of starch from the potato tubers was found to be how much. So we have to calculate the percentage yield. Suppose in this experiment we have taken 50 gram of potato. From 50 gram of potato, how much starch, how much quantity of starch we have obtained, and we have to convert it into from 100 gram how much we have received. So that's how we have to calculate the percentage yield.